Congratulations! Your X gene just activated and gave you a genetic curse that moves faster than you can control. You're a mutant speedster now. Maybe you're Pietro Maximoff, outrunning bullets but watching the world stutter like broken footage. Maybe you're Northstar, fastest mutant alive, while your twin Aurora's mind shatters with every sprint. Or maybe you're Speed, inheriting velocity and generational trauma in equal measure. Your DNA just deleted your normal life, and there's no uninstall button. This video is satirical and not 100% comic accurate. Please don't send sentinels. The first thing you notice isn't the speed, it's how slow everything else becomes. You're standing in a conversation and suddenly you can count every microsecond between words, watch every muscle twitch in someone's face. For Pietro Maximoff, this is every single interaction. Normal humans don't just move slowly from his perspective. They move like they're stuck in cement. A 30-second conversation feels like waiting in line at the DMV for 3 hours. He's processing thoughts, reactions, and entire internal monologue while someone is still forming the first syllable of his name. It's not just frustrating, it's psychological torture that never stops. Northstar experiences the same isolation, which is partly why his ego is the size of a small planet. When you're processing reality faster than everyone around you, it's hard not to feel superior. But superiority doesn't fix loneliness. You're surrounded by people who exist in a different flow of time, and no amount of speed closes that gap. Then the hunger hits. Your body burns calories at a rate that would make professional athletes weep. You need thousands of calories every single day just to stay conscious. Pietro's metabolism is so extreme that if he overuses his powers without eating, he'll collapse mid-sprint and wake up blocks away with no memory of passing out. There's no cosmic speed force to hand-wave the physics, just raw biological horror fueled by your mutant genetics. Where Flash gets to tap into an extra-dimensional energy source, you're stuck with a body that treats a full meal like a light snack. You can't leave your apartment without emergency food because running across town once might burn an entire day's worth of calories. Your grocery bill becomes astronomical. Your stomach is never truly full. Every single day is a race against your own metabolism, and losing means fainting in public. The metabolism is only part of the problem. The real nightmare is the physics. When you run at supersonic speeds, you're fighting against every law of nature that says humans shouldn't be able to do this. Air friction alone should burn your skin off. The G-forces from sudden acceleration should liquefy your internal organs. Sonic boom should shatter your eardrums and every window within a city block. Pietro operates at speeds exceeding Mach 5, which means he's constantly one wrong move away from becoming a red smear on the pavement. Aurora can theoretically approach light speed, but her body was literally breaking down at a molecular level from the strain. Her cells couldn't handle the velocity. The atomic bonds in her body were destabilizing every time she ran. Sasquatch had to physically alter her powers at the molecular level just to keep her alive. He nerfed her speed to save her life. Your body develops some built-in durability to survive the forces, but it's not invincible protection. It's barely enough to keep you from self-destructing, and pushing beyond those limits means your own biology becomes the thing that kills you. Living with a brain that processes information faster than everyone else creates a specific kind of hell. Pietro Maximoff is the perfect example. He's not just fast, he's impatient, arrogant, and constantly furious at a world that can't keep up. Every conversation is an excuse in restraint. Every meeting feels like watching paint dry in geological time. He's already thought through every possible outcome, while his teammates are still processing the question. This isn't just a personality flaw, it's a direct result of his powers. When you experience time differently than everyone around you, patience stops being a virtue and starts being a superhuman effort. Northstar has the same problem, except he's decided to lean into it completely. He calls himself the fastest mutant alive, and his ego matches his speed. When you can process reality at near light speeds, most people do seem painfully slow by comparison. But arrogance doesn't make you less lonely. Pietro's protectiveness of Wanda isn't just about family, it's about having one person who he doesn't have to slow down for. Someone who understands what it means to be different in ways normal humans never will. Your accelerated biology creates medical problems that would make normal doctors quit on the spot. If you break a bone, you have minutes at best to get it set properly before your accelerated biology locks it in place. Whether it's aligned correctly or not, your body doesn't care about proper procedure. It just starts repairing itself at superhuman speed, and if the bone is crooked when that happens, you now have a permanent deformity that requires re-breaking to fix. Anesthesia is basically useless because your metabolism burns through it faster than doctors can administer it. Any surgery becomes a walking nightmare where you feel everything in excruciating detail while your accelerated perception stretches seconds into what feels like hours. You experience every cut, every stitch, every moment while completely conscious. Aurora's situation was even worse. Her powers weren't just dangerous, they were actively killing her. Every time she pushed her speed toward light velocity, her molecular structure destabilized. Her cells were breaking apart at the atomic level. Sasquatch had to perform what was essentially genetic surgery, manually reducing her power output to keep her body from tearing itself apart. She went from nearly light speed to significantly slower, not because she wanted to, but because the alternative was death by molecular disintegration. Sometimes surviving means accepting that your own powers are trying to kill you. Trying to maintain relationships when you're a mutant speedster is like trying to hold water while running. Pietro Maximoff has failed at this repeatedly. He's been a terrible partner, an absent father, and someone who constantly chooses the mission over the people who care about him. Not because he doesn't love them, but because his perception of time makes genuine connection almost impossible. You're in a romantic moment and suddenly you hear sirens 3 miles away, someone screaming for help, a building collapsing, and you have to choose between staying present with the person you love or running off to save strangers. Every single time, the guilt of not helping wins. You become the fastest person alive and somehow also the most unreliable. Constantly late despite your powers, missing birthdays because you were stopping a sentinel attack. Your partner plans events without you because they've learned not to count on you showing up. Northstar struggled with this too, even after coming out as one of the first openly gay superheroes in comics. Being proud of who you are doesn't fix the fundamental problem. When you experience hours in the time it takes someone to finish a sentence, staying emotionally present becomes an act of willpower. Speed carries the echoes of this dysfunction too. As Wanda's reincarnated son, he's connected to a family legacy where emotional distance and superhuman abilities go hand in hand. The age gap issue hits differently too. Your cellular regeneration keeps you young, while everyone around you gets older. Being the fastest mutant alive means you should be able to save everyone, except you can't. Pietro has experienced this failure more times than he can count. He's fast enough to cross a city in seconds, but disasters don't wait in line. Buildings collapse on opposite sides of town simultaneously. Mutants get ambushed in different locations at the exact same time. And you have to choose: save the family trapped in the burning building or stop the sentinel from killing the kid 3 blocks away. You can't do both, so you pick one, and someone dies because of it. The guilt is unbearable because the math is simple. If you were a little bit faster, you could have saved them both. But you weren't. Northstar deals with this during his time with Alpha Flight and the XMen. Every mission where he arrives seconds too late replays in his mind at super speed. He relives his failures thousands of times while normal people process it once. Speed inherited this weight before he even understood what being a hero meant. When your power is velocity, every death feels like your fault. Because if you just ran harder, thought faster, moved quicker, maybe they'd still be alive. Aurora's story is what happens when super speed meets severe mental illness. Jean-Marie Boudier doesn't just run fast, she runs while her mind is actively fracturing. She suffers from dissociative identity disorder, and her personalities shift unpredictably. Sometimes she's confident and bold, other times she's withdrawn and terrified. Her religious trauma from being raised in a strict Catholic school created psychological scars that her powers amplified. When your brain processes reality at near light speeds, mental health issues don't just exist in the background, they become magnified. Every Every intrusive thought, every moment of dissociation, every personality shift happens while she's moving faster than sound. Imagine experiencing a panic attack or identity crisis while your body is traveling at velocities that could tear you apart molecularly. Aurora's powers were so intense that they were literally destroying her from the inside. Her atomic structure couldn't handle the stress. Sasquatch had to reduce her speed capabilities just to keep her alive, which meant accepting that she'd never reach her full potential because her full potential would kill her. She became a speedster who had to be slower to survive, all while fighting a mind that was already at war with itself. Being a mutant speedster doesn't make you invincible. Cold and environmental extremes interfere with performance because your speed depends on molecular motion and heat. Extreme cold makes your enhanced metabolism work against you, forcing your body into shutdown mode. Sensory overload became a weapon in the hands of anyone smart enough to use it. Your enhanced perception means that sonic attacks, strobe lights, and overwhelming stimuli can completely incapacitate you. Telepaths are your worst nightmare because they operate at the speed of thought, which is faster than even you can run. Professor X, Emma Frost, or any competent psychic can freeze you mid-step or rewrite your thoughts before you take a single stride. Mutant power nullifiers like Leech turn you back into a normal human instantly. Inhibitor collars lock down your X gene completely. Forge has built technology specifically designed to counter speedsters. You're fast, but you're not untouchable. And every villain who's done their homework knows exactly how to exploit that. When Krakoa became the mutant nation, speedsters stopped being heroes and became essential infrastructure. You're not on a team anymore, you're logistics. Pietro runs messages between Krakoa gates. Northstar scouts enemy territory before anyone else even knows there's a threat. Speed handles rapid response when things go wrong, which is constantly. You're the first one called when disaster strikes because you're the only one fast enough to get there in time. The problem is that you're always on call. There's no off-duty for a speedster on a mutant island under constant threat. Sentinels attack, you run. Orcus makes a move, you respond. Another mutant needs emergency evacuation, you're already moving before the request finishes. You don't get to rest because rest means someone might die while you're sleeping. The Genosha genocide proved that. 16 million mutants dead in minutes, and not a single speedster was fast enough to stop it. That failure haunts every mutant speedster who survived. You're the fastest, and it still wasn't enough. The worst day of your life happens in seconds for everyone else, but for you it stretches into an eternity. Genosha is under attack, sentinels are descending on the island, 16 million mutants are about to die, and you're one of the only speedsters close enough to help. Or at least, that's how the guilt rewrites the memory. Because when you're this fast, every tragedy feels like it happened right in front of you. You start running, faster than you've ever run before. Your muscles scream, your heart pounds so hard it should explode. You grab clusters of people, pulling them out of buildings before the blasts hit. You see children vaporized mid-scream, families holding each other as the heat wave approaches. You keep moving, faster, push harder. Your body is breaking down, but you can't stop because stopping means they die. From anyone else's perspective, you're a blur moving through a war zone, but from yours, you experience every single death in agonizing slow motion. You see the exact moment the light leaves their eyes, watch their bodies disintegrate frame by frame. You save hundreds, maybe thousands, but millions still die. You are fast enough to witness every death, but not fast enough to prevent them. The Sentinels don't care about your speed. They fire plasma beams in patterns you can't dodge forever. You feel the heat catching up. Your perception slows everything down so much that you experience your own failure across what feels like hours. When it's over, you're still alive. 16 million mutants aren't. And you were the fastest one there. The survivors will remember Genosha as the day mutant-kind lost everything. You'll remember it as the day you ran faster than you ever had and still weren't fast enough. They build memorials for the fallen. Your name gets mentioned alongside the survivors, the fastest mutant alive who tried to save Genosha and couldn't. Pietro goes back to the X-Men carrying that weight. Northstar returns to his teams knowing speed wasn't enough. Aurora struggles with fragments of memories moving too fast to process. Speed inherits a legacy built on velocity and failure. Congratulations, your X gene gave you the power to move faster than sound, think faster than computers, and run run faster than almost anything alive. It gave you the ability to watch everyone you love die in slow motion and live with the knowledge that you'll never be fast enough to outrun yourself.